As someone who grew up as a teenager in the early 2010s, I got used to queerbaiting from TV shows, which we all know is like top tier things to do to any loyal fan base. And yes, I'm looking at you, Sherlock and Merlin. But because we have come so far in queer representation in TV, I thought, why not celebrate the 12 most wonderful, iconic characters that have been gracing our screens for the last decade or so, and the writers who actually had the balls to put them on screen. I will be putting these into a few categories today. Categories are: I'm so happy you're gay. I wasn't expecting that coming out. Unhinged lesbians are chef's kiss. And these bisexuals just make my heart sing. So it goes without saying that these are some of the characters that I'm so happy that writers decided early on were going to be gay. Starting off with one of my favorite gay characters of all time, Garnet. She is... Oh my god. Yeah, that's all I can say about her. I'm joking. I love Garnet. I love Garnet so much as a character. Not only because of who she is, but that she's made from the love that Sapphire and Ruby have for each other to create their fusion every single day. She's kind and loving and protective and has the best and worst qualities from both of the gems that she's made up of. Also, I just have to say that their wedding episode was one of the sweetest episodes of the whole series. It was also kind of like a win-win because it made a bunch of queer people happy and feel seen for the very first time on television, which is a win. And it simultaneously pissed off a bunch of conservatives, which is also a win. I just feel like whenever anyone talks about gay characters or gay couples, Garnet always has to be on that list, and that's why she is on this list. Next up in this category is none other than Captain Holt. Now, I do have to give a big shout out to Andre Breyer, who did recently pass away, for bringing this character to life in such a funny, creative way. I think the very first episode with Holt, where they're trying to figure out if they're gay, has always been a favorite of mine. And then over the course of the show, getting to meet Kevin and Chowder is just a wonderful way to build out a queer character that we don't really get to see a lot. We get to see them fight and make up and act like any other couple. And I think that's a really nice change of pace when it comes to queer representation in media. His character defies stereotypes and shows that being gay doesn't define his capabilities as a leader. He really does bring depth, dignity, and humor to a show while addressing LGBTQ plus issues, and they never really stray away from that, which is something that I always loved. I don't think I could talk about gay characters without talking about some characters from She-Ra, but y'all don't understand how much She-Ra made my little gay heart happy when I came to find out that Scorpia was gay. Ugh. I love her. Scorpia is a lovable and loyal character who displays her queerness in such an endearing and genuine manner, which we mostly see through her relationship with Ketra and how they interact for the first couple of seasons. Her journey emphasizes self-acceptance and friendship, and it's such an important thing to show, especially to the younger audience that would have been watching this show. Now, I will say that I'm a little problematic, and I did ship her and Ketra for the first, 4 seasons of the show. Is it a healthy ship? No, it is not. But if you kind of look at my shipping track record, none of my favorite ships are really all that healthy, and I don't know what that says about me. Maybe someday I'll make a video about all of my unhealthy, toxic favorite ships. Let me know if you want to see that down below. But her getting to be happy in the end with Perfuma, and honestly being one of the only people who is actively trying to help Ketra be a kind, good person throughout the whole show. She's just top tier She-Ra character for me all day long. I just also love the episode where Double Trouble is introduced and she sings, and it's just so gay. And I know for a fact that production knew exactly what they were doing with that episode, because that scene was so good. Like I touched on a little bit earlier in this video, I have been burned by queerbaiting many a time from TV shows. But to the more unexpected coming outs, this one's for you. And I think the very first, surprising coming out that I ever saw that had me so shook was Benson from Kipo. Benson's coming out scene is honestly one of my favorite coming out scenes of all time. Mostly because I wasn't actually expecting it whatsoever, and I loved it. I love the buildup of the episode with Kipo wanting to tell him she liked him, and him having to gently let her down was just so good. They were also able to give him a love interest later in the show, and their chemistry and awkwardness is just perfectly encompasses how having your first crush goes. They never made him feel othered because of his sexuality and always treated him with respect, which I think is so important when writing younger queer characters. They literally should be treated just like everyone else. But for some reason, Hollywood doesn't think they should be. It's so weird. This next one was such a disservice to fans. But I thought, why not just put it in here to complain about it? As we all know, Voltron has done their fans so dirty with that last season. And Shiro is literally no different. Now, did some fans see Shiro being gay and having the first MLM wedding in animated TV as a win? Yeah, of course. But at what cost? Rather than being treated with the same dimension and nuance he received when he was perceived to be straight, Shiro had his role reduced, his friendships removed, and his sexuality completely exploited in a last-ditch effort to kind of win back the LGBTQ plus fans that had been hurt and alienated by Voltron's 7th season. This is not how you write a gay character at all. So to say when I was surprised when they made him gay, it's actually an understatement because there's no lead up. Okay, very little lead up. It's never okay to do that to loyal fans of a show, especially Voltron fans. They're, oh my god. But especially to your queer fans. Because we have to see time and time again how our stories don't matter to cis straight people. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Which leads me into my next character. Listen, y'all. I know Glee is problematic. Even go into the first episode where Mr. Schuster is being a fucking creep to Finn in the shower, because there are plenty of video essays on YouTube about that. But it did introduce a lot of people to the queer community. And one of the things that I was least expecting was Santana coming out as a lesbian. When I say I cried like a baby. When that episode came out, my little baby queer heart could not take it whatsoever. And I want to say that was the first time I'd seen someone come out as a lesbian on TV. So I'll always think that her character was really important for that. And speaking of lesbians, I can't talk about the best gay characters on TV without talking about Ketra. Her character arc beautifully depicts a journey of self-discovery, growth, and acceptance. Throughout the whole series, she's navigating complex emotions, particularly when it comes to her relationship with Adora, which evolves from a deep friendship to a complex rivalry with unresolved feelings, aka there would literally be no show without Ketra having those feelings for Adora. But I could do a whole video on that because, oh my god, Ketra struggles with vulnerability, abandonment, and self-worth, which resonates with so many young queer folks who explore their own relationships and identities. She's messy and doesn't always do the right thing, and it makes her very human in that way. Trying to figure yourself out isn't always a perfect straight line, and her representation as a strong, multifaceted, messy character who experiences love, heartbreak, and personal growth without conforming to traditional norms of femininity or sexuality can resonate with a lot of LGBTQ plus audiences. And I know it definitely did for me. I love seeing characters who don't necessarily always have everything figured out, and she definitely is a prime example of that. I watch many gay character couple essay video on YouTube, and whenever I do, I never really see people talk about Danny from The Haunting of Bly Manor when they talk about gay characters, but I love her so fucking much. As the protagonist, Danny's journey unfolds, revealing her past relationship with her late fiancé, Edmund. Throughout the course of the show, Danny grapples with her feelings of guilt and grief over Edmund's tragic death, while also developing a connection with Jamie, who's the gardener at Bly Manor. Their growing relationship is depicted with so much depth and tenderness, gradually blossoming into a profound and heartfelt bond. Their connection is explored beautifully and helps Danny grow as a person. Her love of Jamie is just so pure, and they're one of my favorite queer couples shown in media in a very long time. So if you like supernatural, eerie, kind of horror-y, queer shows, I would definitely check this one out. And while talking about iconic gay characters, it's really hard to do that list without Elena from One Day at a Time, who has emerged as a queer icon due to her empowering and authentic portrayal of a young Latina navigating her journey of self-discovery and coming out. Her character undergoes a heartfelt exploration of her identity and gradually embracing her queer identity as a lesbian, which is so needed in this day and age. Her storyline resonates deeply within the LGBTQ plus community as she confronts challenges, which include self-acceptance, coming out to her family, and navigating her first relationship. Elena's representation as a strong, intelligent, and resilient individual challenges stereotypes while offering a beacon of hope and relatability for queer youth. Her courage, vulnerability, and unwavering authenticity make her a beacon of representation and empowerment, which is so inspiring to younger queer individuals, and seeing this kind of representation can really help young queer folks embrace their true selves and foster conversations about acceptance, diversity, and inclusion within modern media, which is so important. Having that kind of representation, especially non-white representation, is extremely important. When I think of bisexual characters, literally the very first one that pops into my head every single time is Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, I know I talked about another character from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but they do be writing some pretty decent queer representation on that show. I think that she gets a lot of her authenticity from the fact that her actress is also bisexual IRL, and it's a lot easier to have that kind of influence over your character, relate to them that much on some level, but the writing for Rosa is just high caliber bisexual representation. She's never made to pick one side or the other. The other characters are supportive of her no matter who she's dating. We also get to see how her Latina family reacts to her sexuality, which is so important for not only her character, but the audience as well. I know people have genuine problems with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and cop shows in general, which I completely understand. As someone who doesn't like cops myself, I actually haven't watched the show since 2020 because of all of the injustices that have happened in this world. But during its run, Brooklyn was able to get some good LGBT rep on the show while it was still airing, and for that time period, I think it was a good thing. Another show I couldn't keep off this list or talking about the characters in the show is Heartstopper, and how can I talk about bisexuals without talking about little baby Nick Nilsson? He is so wholesome, so sweet, such an adorable, just mwah of a character. And honestly, I see a lot of my younger self in him. That's probably why I like him so much. All of season 1 and trying to figure out his sexuality is such a vulnerable thing to be able to show to a younger audience, letting them know it's okay to explore and try things and come out on your own terms. And his character has such a great example of how it can be shown. The narrative beautifully captures his internal struggles, showcasing the challenges of coming to terms with his feelings for both Charlie and girls, while also facing external societal expectation. Nick's portrayal offers a poignant representation of bisexuality, highlighting the importance of acceptance, self-exploration, and the complexities of navigating one's sexual orientation, making him extremely relatable, in my opinion, and a significant figure for readers and watchers exploring their own sexualities. And I'm going to be finishing out this list with none other than Asami from Legend of Korra. Honestly, I could go on and on about Asami. When I first watched this show back in 2012, I really didn't like her. I low-key kind of thought that she was like a pick-me girl in regards to her relationship with Mako. But let's not talk about little Lynn's wrong opinions. Now that I'm an adult and have rewatched the show, I really love how they set Asami's character up. She's strong and independent and feminine and so fucking smart. She cares so much about her family and her friends and will do whatever she needs to make sure they're all safe. I personally think it speaks volumes about her development in season 4, with her being there for Korra after her fight with Kavir. And that's really when you start to see these two characters fall for each other. I really wish we could have gotten a kiss in the last episode so badly, but I know when it was airing, it was a struggle to get anything queer done with studios. I wish it could have happened, and I don't know. Asami will always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below who your favorite gay TV character is. I absolutely love all of these characters, and I'm so happy that we've come so far in queer media in the last decade or so. Also, before you go, be sure to check out all my socials down below and check out my Patreon. That is how I make videos like this, and that's how you can support me as a queer content creator. We do a lot of fun stuff over there, so go check it out. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.